Just to give you a bit of information about what has happened so far, as you're aware, there was a working lunch yesterday between High Representative Ashton and Minister Zarif. Yesterday afternoon, as you're also aware, there was a trilateral session between the European Union, the United States and Iran. There were further meetings in the course of the afternoon and evening. And then, as you're aware, at midday today, there was the first formal plenary session held around the corner in the UN building, which was focusing on elements of the text that could be part of an agreement. What is going to happen now is that there will be technical meetings on a number of different subjects as a follow-up to what was discussed in the plenary session earlier. And then, obviously, the meetings will continue in different formats throughout the afternoon. I don't have any information yet about what will happen after the technical meetings, but there will be, of course, further meetings, and the work continues intensively. That's what I have by way of introduction, so I'm happy to take your questions. I'll start over there.
I want to know what is the view of the EU on the mechanism of lifting sanctions on Iran under a possible nuclear deal?
Well, you won't be surprised to hear that I'm not going to answer that question. Obviously, that's a hypothetical situation. You saw what happened under the Joint Plan of Action from November, but we are now working on a comprehensive agreement, and the terms of that agreement will be, worked out over the coming weeks in the negotiations. So I can't give you any information about what the mechanism might be, I'm afraid. Yeah.
Thank you. Have the two sides started writing anything on the final agreement?
As I said, the plenary session this morning focused on elements of the text that could be part of an agreement. Yeah.
Thank you. Shin from CCTV. What was the idea behind the change of arrangement for this morning? Why there was no photo op yesterday and all of a sudden you changed that? What's the consideration behind? Secondly, where is Mr. Burns? We didn't see him in the plenary session. Thanks.
There was no change on the arrangements. Every session of these negotiations is slightly different. The way it was decided to work was that there was a lunch yesterday. Normally we have a dinner, but we had a lunch instead. And as ever, there was a plenary session in the UN building with a photo opportunity, so I don't think there was any change or whatever. You don't agree with me? Sure.
Because yesterday we received an email telling us there was not going to be a photo op, and this was changed last minute this morning, telling us there will be a photo op. So I wonder why yesterday you decided not to have a photo op, and where is Mr. Burns, please?
Sometimes plans change. I hope that you're happy that there was a photo op. I certainly am happy that there was a photo op. As for Mr. Burns, you'll have to ask the American delegation where Mr. Burns is. I don't know. But as usual, Wendy Sherman is the lead American in the sessions of these negotiations normally, and that's the case again today. Sorry. Yeah.
If an agreement is not concluded before 20 July, would it be possible to extend the discussions beyond this date? Second question is about the main points of that constitute the gap between the 5+1 and Iran, please.
It's not really my job to enter into speculation. We will see what happens when it happens. What is most important is that the E3+3, the European Union, we are fully committed to working as hard as we can, intensifying our efforts in order to try and reach an agreement as soon as possible. Obviously, the most important thing is the quality of the agreement, but we are certainly going to be working as hard as we can to complete things as quickly as is possible. We hope that the Iranian side enters into the negotiations in the same spirit. As to what divides us, it's normal in a negotiation that the two sides have different views. That's why there needs to be a negotiation. I'm not going to go into the areas where we disagree, but everybody knows what the main issues of the negotiations are. What we're here to do is to work hard to try and make those differences narrower than they were before, and to try and work towards, as I say, we have been looking at elements of the text that could be part of an agreement.
Est-ce qu'il y a des priorités dans la discussion sur le programme nucléaire iranien? C'est-à-dire, est-ce qu'on discute aujourd'hui sur le nombre exact de centres de refuge ou bien plutôt les problèmes d'Arak et Nantes et autres? Est-ce qu'il y a des priorités? Est-ce qu'on va discuter de quelque chose maintenant et laisser quelque chose pour plus tard?
Franchement, je ne sais pas vous dire exactement ce qui était sur la table ce matin parce que je n'étais pas dans la salle, mais bien sûr, ça fait partie d'une négociation que toutes les parties, toutes les questions font partie de l'accord final et toutes les questions font partie des négociations. Et comme on dit toujours, rien n'est décidé jusque tout est décidé. Voilà. Je ne sais pas vous dire.
On est en train de nommer les éléments principaux de l'accord.
Normalement, on n'entre pas dans les détails publiquement. Désolé. Justina.
Changing the subject a little bit, it is fair to say that the traditional dinner yesterday was moved up to lunch to allow the various members to watch football last night, right?
Was that a question or was that a statement?
It's a yes or no question.
I have absolutely no idea. It was felt to be. Me having no idea is also an option. It was felt to be one of the. It was felt to be the best way of approaching the work. So if people were able to watch football, that's great. But the most important thing here is that we concentrate on the work. Albert, yeah.
Albert Otti, DPA, German Press Agency. Can you say anything about the atmosphere in the talks so far? Is there any change in the atmosphere from last time? Maybe a heightened sense of urgency or realism on both sides?
I'd say that the atmosphere is, as ever, very workmanlike and a very good working relationship between the two sides. Everybody is aware that we are entering a phase of negotiations where things are getting quite intense. So we continue to work as hard as we can.
Ashraf Saad, Sky News Arabiya. Mr. Mann, can you tell us about the Trilateral meeting yesterday? What was it discussing? We don't know anything about it. Mainly, did it discuss Iraq?
The Trilateral meeting yesterday between the EU, US and Iran was focused on the Iranian nuclear file. As usual, I'll disappoint you by not giving you any details about what was discussed, but it was a meeting about the Iranian nuclear question. Another lady. Thank you. There.
Hi, Raquel Gonzalez from Hispan TV. Straight question. Has drafting started?
The plenary focused on elements of the text that could be part of an agreement. So you make your own deductions from that. Yes.
I just wonder, you talk about the text. Which text? Do we have a text?
Well, if you're focusing on elements of the text, there must be a text, presumably. Well, we're here to negotiate about the Iranian nuclear program, so it would tend to be a text about that issue.
Was that the interim agreement, or was that a draft agreement?
No, we have an agreement which is called the Joint Plan of Action from November,
but this is
and
not the text.
we are now negotiating a comprehensive agreement. So we're clearly, listen, we're clearly talking about the text. We are talking about elements of an agreement, of a comprehensive agreement. Thanks very much, everyone. I'll be back sometime.